Dragon Ball Multiverse is a fan-made webcomic that's been going on for well over 7 years at this point, spanning over 2,000 pages of content. It is possibly the longest running fan work in the Dragon Ball community, and for good reason. It's a multiversal tournament which includes continuities of the movies with fan original outcomes for scenarios both in and out of canon material, such as what if Cell or Frieza won in their sagas and so on and so forth. It's a novel concept that was done on such a large scale I couldn't help but be excited to see what the fights had in store for me. Thankfully, fights aren't the only appealing factor of this story, as characters are just as important as the fights themselves. Many characters are quite memorable, but none seem to draw more attention than Sun, Bra. Bra is not a character I hate or love by any means, rather she sits in a gray area. In comparison to what we've seen recently in terms of female Saiyans canonically, I like the fact that her power-ups are more grounded and she feels just the right amount of strong like Gohan did during the Cell saga. Her inability to control her anger is an enjoyable part of her character because it sets up a struggle to overcome, and in a tournament filled with strong combatants who can push her to her limits, it's perfect. Her design is also quite striking, as it's more akin to Vegeta's design with her compression wear, alluding to who she acts like more between the fusion of Goku and Vegeta. She stands as a unique character who has a design that tells you exactly what she is about, sensible power and potential with an understandable character flaw. She feels like she could fit into the canon of Dragon Ball, which I can't really say for many other fan-made characters. However, the circumstances surrounding her character post Babidi's takeover was a complete breakdown of what her character was trying to achieve since it was introduced. It's no secret Bra is quite cocky and has a lot to prove. Both of these aspects of her personality affect her multiple times throughout the tournament, digging herself into a hole more times than not. Her backstory expounds upon this further with her crazed thirst for power and desire to be recognized. It also shows her less than stellar relationship with her father Vegito, which tries to make sense of her berserk state. A berserk state that only shows its head when she is pushed to her physical and mental limits. Bra reaching Super Saiyan 2 is when her character is understood best. She's ignorant to what her power means for other people if not checked. Her resulting power-up destroys an entire solar system and kills her brother in Goten. A mistake of this magnitude and her reaction to her actions shows not only ignorance but little empathy to those around her. The fact she was more worried about surpassing her limits to achieve a new form is a perfect example of how far gone she is mentally. The Dragon Balls don't simply overwrite what she's done or how she's disregarded her actions. Vegeto's assertion that she's a threat that will need to be dealt with eventually is a logical one, but not one he doesn't share at least some blame for. Vegito is her father and the strongest, most experienced fighter around her. He should have been far more patient with his daughter so he could help her grow to control her temper and power. This is a fusion of a Vegeta who comes to peace with his mistakes and the faults in his pride. Not to mention a Goku who's trained Gohan, a character with explosive power and personal issues. While Vegito is definitely a character different from his individual parts, he's not some snarky fighter who doesn't care about his family or have any patience. That is how he acts against Buhan for sure, but it's hardly his whole personality. Mid-fight, he's literally sitting there teaching Buhan how to get stronger. He's cocky at times, yes, but not an impatient character by any means. This is not to say that Bra is free from blame. She still did what she did and needs to be held accountable, but Vegito knew how dangerous she could be and the lack of a connection that they shared. I doubt that with the combined traits of Goku and Vegeta, Vegito would be so callous to his daughter, especially with the versions of Goku and Vegeta making up his personality. The tension in Bra and Vegito's relationship reaches its breaking point once she's controlled by Babidi. This whole scenario is where my iffy feeling on this character came into full effect. First and foremost, Bra having the spell broken thanks to her weaker alternate universe self was a really good decision. This talk is used to show that raw power isn't always what makes you strong, but having a strong mind is equally as effective as a strong body. Unfortunately, this shouldn't have even happened considering the fact that Bra mercilessly kills everyone who tries to talk sense into her, whether they can harm her or not. She does it to Fipsel, who has no armor, so a regular human basically, and the Grand Supreme Kai. It makes no sense for her to sit down and have a conversation with herself when she wouldn't even listen to anyone before, especially someone she doesn't even know. If the character was going to be consistent, she would have simply blown her to smithereens without hesitation. The only argument I could see for her breaking Babidi's control would be that the trauma of her actions finally started to catch up to her prior to the argument, which, no. She bisects Gohan, her Gohan by the way, the one who probably understood her the most without a second thought, and goes on like normal, continuing her massacre. It's hard to believe that she would ever listen to her weaker counterpart if she won't listen to someone who actually knows her, because again, she doesn't know who she is. It doesn't make any sense given what the story tells us as readers. The follow-up to this breakthrough is a complete judgment party on Vegito. As I've stated earlier, I am not a fan of how Vegito is characterized in this story, but within the confines of the story, they have every right to judge him here. Calling out Bra on the same mistakes he's made consciously, mind you, is justified. Going for the kill on Bra isn't justified because she was mind controlled. If he'd been there to teach her better, things would have probably not have ended up this way. The big problem with this scene is that it's supposed to be about Bra and her problems, not Vegito and his problems. This whole breakthrough was about Bra overcoming her need to be physically strong to feel validated. She does overcome that need, but it's not on her own merit because her character under Babidi's control had to be bent to fit this outcome. Her alternate version is the whole reason she broke from Babidi's control in the first place, who, again, if we're being completely honest, she should have killed without a second thought if she was going to be consistent with her character under Babidi's control. Bra overcoming her need to be strong isn't deserved in my eyes at all. If she'd shown cracks in being controlled or gradually seeing that power isn't everything throughout the tournament, it would have led to this moment much better. I don't hate Bra, nor do I love her despite wanting to like her character. Her design is cool and her struggles are interesting, fitting right into something I could see happening in canon. Unfortunately, it's just the ending that really bogs me down on this character. Thank you all so much for watching. Please stay safe out there and have yourselves a damn good one. I'll see you all next time.